Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Alternative Show. My name is Carol. The presenter and divinely guided medical intuitive is Thembile. Hi, Thembile. Before we continue with today's episode, let us go back to where we finished off last week and take it from there.
What is energy medicine? Ever wondered or heard of it? Health Haven is doing it again. We bring you another alternative health modality that will turn your health around by correcting your electric circuit. What are we talking about? Watch Dr. Alternative Show and be blown away. Health Haven Clinic is in a league of its own. It is a clinic that does what doctors can't do. Anything that carries Health Haven signature, then you know it is a good program.
Tell us a little bit more about the voltage with the pain. I know we discussed earlier about a little bit of inflammation and the nail, but should a person be suffering with pain due to cancer or due to whatever inflammation, injuries, joints, how would the voltage in that area, because I believe you can localize it to certain areas. So you can also do the whole body and localize.
Yes.
But in pain treatment, how would that voltage pick up and ease the pain in that area?
Now you must understand how pain is created. Now, firstly, you mentioning cancer, like I said earlier on, that for a person to have a normal voltage and even a voltage where you can make new cells, you need to be on -20 and up, and -50 is where you can start making new cells. But now, when you are having a problem with that particular area, and you are not making new cells, then you keep losing the electrons. And you keep losing the electrons. And you keep losing them. And when you lose them, you move to the positive. Now remember, you've got to be on the negative all the time, even higher negative, -50. So you keep losing them. Now when you lose them, you must remember, that means you are struggling to charge the battery. And you are not when you're struggling to charge the battery, that means there's deprivation of oxygen. And when there's deprivation of oxygen, the scavengers, they come and they take over. And when they take over, you start feeling the pain. So that's not the heat of because the pain that you feel that gives you, that has got heat, you find it's not lasting. You'll find that if you've hit yourself and eventually you find maybe whatever happens without you knowing that you've managed to bring in the raw materials, then you find, the pain is gone. Not because you've put an injection or anything, then you find after a short while, the pain is gone. Because the raw materials have managed to run to that area and you made new cells, and then the pain is gone. But when it's inflammation, the pain is there. Because there are guys that are sitting there and eating. So they're eating on that part. And when they're eating, they're giving birth, they're bringing others, and you keep on losing. And you keep on losing. Now remember, when you lose, you get to the positive. You keep on losing. So now there are no more electrons. You just increasing, lowering the voltage keeps lowering, and everything keeps coming. And cancer sets in at +30.
Oh, wow.
That is almost the equal opposite of -20 or -25 to 50. So once you hit +30, then you've got cancer. So that is what causes you to have the pain. It's because there are guys that were sleeping, but which are now awake, and we are now giving birth to their own other guys and inviting everybody that here's food, come and eat, and they create the environment that suits them. And all that the cortisol is doing is trying to keep on beating them. And meanwhile, the mothers are sitting there and keep on some babies die and others can't. Some babies die and others can't. So up until you can destroy their procreation and expansion by building new cells, which is why I keep on saying that the problem with chemotherapy's problem is that it doesn't just target the bad guy, the cancer cell. It kills everything around that and creates a breeding environment for even more. That's why you find they will say a person is on a remission and then they say it's more aggressive than before. Because it was just a matter of they're gathering momentum. And remember, they say it's their environment, because even in a healthy person, they're there. The bugs are there. Carol, we've got lots of bugs in our body.
For us to keep them.
We've got to keep them sitting there and lying there, and they don't do us any harm. That's why I usually say even about the yeast bacteria, the candida, that we've got candida in our stomachs. But it's not harming us. It's there. I mean, we have to eat friendly bacteria and all that, acidobacillus and all that, so that we keep them there.
So you're keeping them in the right place.
You say, I don't care if you're sitting there as long as you keep quiet.
You're not active.
And not show your face.
Exactly.
I don't care. Sit there and whatever you do, but sit there. So that's what we're doing with the oxygens and whatnot. But now, when we've run short of that and the voltage is low, there's no oxygen, then those guys, because they keep knocking and we keep on. But now they knock and they say, no, nothing happened.
Yay.
And then they flow in.
And they will flourish.
So that is what causes pain, that inflammation. So that's the difference between the pain that is caused as a result of a sudden accident,
injury,
which ends up attracting the raw material and then healing within a short space, because the pains will pain. But once the pain does not go away, you must know that there are guys that are sitting and enjoying lunch with that organ.
At your expense. The equipment that you have, you could actually read and see what somebody's voltage is.
Yeah. Every part. You can put it on your head and you'll be able to say, oh, your voltage is such and such.
So you would be able to bring up each organ to the right voltage.
To the right voltage.
This just sounds quite amazing. Just to already, I mean, what you do from diagnosis to dispensing is miraculous, and the results. I just can't even begin to think where this will end up.
Yeah.
To think that you can actually target that area and jumpstart it.
Hence, Carol, I'm going to show the viewers the X-ray. Now, I'm talking about the bone. Remember, I talked about this...
the whole skeleton. Okay.
That I'm going to show the viewers that just with one treatment.
And how long is a treatment?
It's a few minutes.
Minutes.
Few minutes. Just with one treatment of few minutes, that this people will be able to see that the alignment that was out.
Timmy, if the alignment, if it's out, obviously the one side's going to be higher, so the other side to compensate would be lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you saying to me with one treatment that lasted minutes.
It actually, they will see the X-ray, not me saying, but they will actually see the X-ray that the shoulder that was protruding on one side, because there's a line that's drawing as they will see, that it balances up with just one treatment. Now, let alone if a person were to do 2 and 3 and 4. So that's now the bone. I'm not talking just
Jimmy, what you're talking
bone.
You're talking bone that is dense.
Is difficult.
Absolutely. We know that it takes months to regenerate cells in the bones.
Yeah.
And you telling me one session,
just
of
one
a couple of minutes,
session, ruffled
and
that
it
bone
rectifies
and say,
it. So the softer
come
organs
back.
theoretically would even be quicker because of the water content and the oxygen content. Yeah. It should be so much quicker.
Yeah. So it's not a joke, Carol. I said we don't involve ourselves in anything that's like
Mickey Mouse.
Once it says Health Haven,
it's got the stamp of approval.
You must just know it's not a joke.
Jamie, this is so exciting. I can just imagine the viewers sitting there, and like before, when you first started, and people would sit back and think, another clown. I remember hearing that term until the proof was there for everybody to see. And to think that what already seemed like perfection to us has just upped your game and upped a notch to where it's going now. Tell me, I understand you have various treatment packages.
Yeah.
Okay. With the centers. Are there any particular ones that you would recommend for everybody, or for each person sort of need their own package that you would basically design to specifically suit them?
In fact, the one that I will recommend for everybody, Carol, is just this one, this sphenoid bone alignment.
Tell me, sorry, just to show you there. I've been exposed to quite a few chiropractors and different kind of practitioners, and I can remember as long as I can remember, they always talked about the body being out of alignment. And I think then they were using manipulation, which sometimes can be quite painful, and I don't almost acknowledge that kind of thing. I don't think we were designed to be probed and pushed and tugged. So this is a lot more, it's less invasive.
It's not invasive, it's not uncomfortable, it's actually like a joke. Wow. It's really just like when I say to people, I'm going to scan you, and I put their feet in the water, it's like
the disbelief.
What is this now? Serious. This is the same. That it's like, no, it's not possible.
It sounds too good to be true.
It sounds it sounds silly.
You know, Thembi, in all honesty, I mean, we've all been exposed to tests and people who have had tests and people who have been ill in hospital. And some of the testing methods are really quite horrendous, to be honest, and invasive and painful. And I think we got so used to this. I know friends, children that had, what was it called years ago with the spine?
Spina bifida?
Not the spina bifida, where they
scoliosis?
They actually extracted the fluid, like a lumbar punch. And I mean, that was the thing that was a big dread years ago because of the pain that was created by the tests. And a lot of tests are really, really painful. And they were used to that.
Yeah.
Now you're arriving and there's no pain involved here. And everything is just natural and the way it's meant to be.
And simple, like I'm here saying now that this 2 minute session I'm talking about, that shows the bone that's like this, and then that ends up like this.
It sounds like those fantastic diets, Thembi, where lose 20 kilos in the first 3 days. You know, we've been through those situations where if it's too good to be true, then it probably is too good to be true. And that is how people received you when you first started until the results spoke for themselves. Now we have another method whereby, again,
which also looks
pain-free,
silly, but then it baffles with the results.
Correct. And to see that you could actually do this with no pain involved in a matter of minutes, and the results are there. It just sounds, again, too good to be true. So let Health Haven, again, I think, prove itself like it has for so many years, and to continue to give us what we need, and to be exposed to the journey and the enhancements that come along your way to make it easier for your client. Thank you so much, as always, and blessings for the week.
You're welcome.
What is energy medicine? Ever wondered or heard of it? Health Haven is doing it again. We bring you another alternative health modality that will turn your health around by correcting your electric circuit. What are we talking about? Watch Dr. Alternative Show and be blown away. Health Haven Clinic is in a league of its own. It is a clinic that does what doctors can't do. Anything that carries Health Haven signature, then you know it is a good program.
Thembi, you showed us the spine that is out of alignment, because we covered this quite extensively last week, but I want to just reiterate again. And look at those diagrams that you showed us, okay? Because this seems to be linked to the sphenoid bone. Tell us about this.
Yeah. Okay, before I even get there, I would like the viewers to take a look at these pictures. If you see the first picture, if you see the shoulders have lost their alignment. The one is slightly upper, as we will point to them, and the other one is under the line. But if you see the picture where we've already worked on the treatment, we've done the treatment on the person, they are both level.
Wow.
Okay. And that is with just one treatment of a few minutes.
Timmy, doesn't it actually sound possible to actually see the value of this and the intensity of the treatment, and it's completely painless and non-invasive, and it is very effective in such a short time. It's remarkable.
Such a short time. And these pictures that we're showing, these are X-ray pictures.
Wow.
It's not pictures that we have created ourselves.
Yeah.
But these are X-rays that were taken before and after.
Sure.
Just to show how powerful this device is. Okay.
Absolutely.
So now coming to the misaligned.
What would contribute towards actually being out of alignment? Because it's quite difficult to visualize that the bones are actually up, because the x-rays are, I mean, it is plain for everybody to see. Because if you, like you said earlier, if it had just been standing looking at a person where the shoulder's slightly higher, that can almost be done by somebody moving their shoulder. But we're looking at bone here. So there's no doubt in anyone's mind that it's plain to see that it's the whole structure is out of alignment. What could actually cause something like this?
In fact, Carol, before I get to what would cause, I just want to explain a bit to people what this is. Okay, because we must remember the sphenoid bone is holding the skull into the position, into space, where it's into place where it is supposed to be. Okay, so that you are sitting properly, upright. But now it's not just upright is just the smallest part of it all. The most important part is that the whole body's health actually depends on that alignment, let alone other things. I mean, people are going to see as we go on with these shows and with these treatment programs, how each small thing, just like we normally talk about a car, you find that it's a, what do they call this thing? It's a fan belt.
Exactly.
Something as small as a fan belt.
Correct.
But then the car won't move.
Yep.
It's just a fan belt. Okay. So this bone is so important, and it is right at the back of the skull. And not just at the back outside, it's actually a little bit in the center. We will show the people where it's actually located, but it's just that outside we can only point it there. But it holds the skull into position, into its right position.
Into the correct position.
Into its correct position. Okay. Now, besides that, let alone before I even come to what would cause. Okay. Now you must remember, Carol, the brain controls a lot of functions. And the cranial area, people know I've spoken a lot about the cranial area, where you've got intracranial pressure, maybe, where you've got the edema, where you've got aneurysm, that once this part of the brain, the cranial area is affected, there are so many nerves, the senses are messed up. The bone function is there are the heart, the stomach, there are so many organs that are affected because of the damage or pressure or whatever is messing up the cranial pressure. Now the sphenoid bone is holding that together. Okay, everything in place. Now when it is out of alignment, it's not just only a physical deformity.
Yeah.
It's not just a physical. Once it is out of alignment, the whole structure is affected, because as people can see on the X-ray, on the X-ray. Oh, no, not on the X-ray, on that picture that I was showing them, where you find the one that is still intact.
Oh, okay.
It's complete right in the middle. But where it has lost, you can see it's complete. You would even think that it's
they've drawn it squarely. I mean, skewed. Yeah, and yet it's not. It's not drawn. It's not skewed. It's still the same drawing, but the body has completely thrown itself out of alignment because of that spinal bone being affected. Okay. But we'll talk more about that as we go. But what would cause that? Okay, I mean, there are many things that would cause the for it to be out of alignment. Firstly, people get involved in a lot of accidents because remember, we're driving cars, we fall on the steps. There are many things such that I remember. I've had a lot of people that I used to pick up that they've got something which is called autonomic dysreflexia. Okay. Where the sympathetic and parasympathetic are miscommunicating. Okay. And you find the person says, because I would ask, did you ever fall? The person, or were you ever involved in an accident? The person would say, no. I said, no, I'm not talking about an accident where you actually capsized. Maybe it's a massive one. I'm talking even something slight, because I would see clots. Yeah. I would see clots in autonomic dysreflexia. It's actually a clot that you find is sitting exactly where in the autonomic and the sympathetic and parasympathetic are sitting together. So then you would find that, then I would say, then you find that people that have got that end up having problems that are inappropriately reacting to a stimulus. Like, for instance, let me make an example. That you find if a person, for instance, is seeing a dog and the dog is charging at you, the first thing that will happen is your heart is going to pounce. You might feel sweaty, and you're ready to run. And some people will actually feel even in the stomach that the stomach will cringe, you know, and knots. But there are certain physiological changes that occur as a result of the brain saying, here comes danger. Okay. But when you've got an autonomic dysreflexia, the message is inappropriately communicated. You'll find a person, but then the body still reacts as though something has happened.
So the body will still react, but the brain...
But let's take another.
It's quite complicated, Thembi. If you try and break it up, and already my mind is jumping to scenarios ahead of how this could affect somebody's life. I mean, this is scary.
This is what happens. That you find people with autonomic dysreflexia, they will just out of the blue, just feel the heart pouncing. Out of the blue.
And Thembi, how many times have you heard this?
Nothing triggering that.
It's triggering so many emotions at the moment just by what you said now, of people suffering with anxiety and not understanding, and eventually they start thinking that they're actually deranged or they're losing their mind. Exactly what you just said. I think it applies to so many people that we see on a daily basis, and they say, oh, they're stressed or they have anxiety. And now what you're saying is actually making so much sense.
And you find that people with autonomic dysreflexia will have blood pressure spikes. The blood pressure, then people will ask, what happened? I mean, I had one lady from our hometown who came here as my client. And I was saying, blood pressure? Does blood pressure mess you up? She says it will just jump out of nowhere. And you'll find that it would go so high that when I land at the hospital, the first thing they would ask is there anything that has stressed you? And she said, there would be nothing. There would be nothing. They would try and maybe say, no, just think. Because they cannot believe how high it has jumped.
Exactly.
Without any reason.
Sure.
But that's what happens with autonomic dysreflexia, is that it's not responding to any, it's just on its own. You pound, the heart is pounding, they're sweating, you're panicking, meanwhile there is nothing, because the communication between your autonomic and your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system has been messed up. Because of that clot that is sitting. But then you find that happens a lot in people that have had smaller accidents.
Little traumatic
Yeah,
situations.
maybe you find a person says, no, I was sitting in the car, just bumped.
Just lightly.
Yeah, and I felt, she said, I never even went to hospital. It just, or someone, you find the person will say, I just slipped. I was cleaning the windows and I just slipped, or on the steps and I slipped and fell.
And that's enough to do that?
That's enough to do that.
Oh, my word, Thembi.
I'm telling you, that is enough to do that.
Wow. Thembi, I think this is going to open up a whole can of worms. I'm just thinking of people that are on psychiatric medication and people that are actually on antidepressants, and I'm just seeing so many situations opening up here. It's like a can of worms.
So that's what happens with the sphenoid bone, because then you find that has happened, you end up having this reflexive. But then the sphenoid is out of, is affected, then the whole body, the spine is out of alignment. Now we're not just talking just the body, just the spine.
Yeah.
We're not talking just your central nervous system.
Okay.
We're talking the whole body. Wow. Because remember, the whole body is controlled there. Your sexual activity comes from there. Your sleep comes from there. Your digestive system comes from there. Everything, Carol, comes from there.
Thembi, I hope that the viewers don't think I'm overreacting here, but if you just sit and think about this logically, you started just with the brain activities. Already, the anxiety. I know so many people say to me, my palms are all sweaty and their heart is racing and they don't know why, and the blood pressure. And now I'm thinking that's just to start with. Now we're going to continue further down. And this is quite amazing to see the effects of that. Just the sphenoid bone. And now all of this beneath it. It is mind-blowing. I mean, people say, oh no, they just get anxiety. Every now and again, they just get palpitations. And now we're saying, like, there's a reason why this is happening. And I think the viewers are going to welcome this with open hands, especially the people that are the sufferers of this, where they're being misunderstood and thinking to be paranoid or depressed or suffering from anxiety and need to pull themselves towards themselves, where there is a legitimate problem.
But then this is the thing, that coming back to the causes.
Wow.
Because you'll find that people would think, okay, this does not really talk to me because my shoulder is still, when you look at yourself, because remember, people are expecting to see someone who's the only thing
lopsided.
Lopsided.
Yeah.
They don't realize that I can take a person and put them there and say, let me just test by just putting my fingers in your ear, and you'll see
the levels.
Just a small out of alignment. That's all you need.
But you know, Thembi, let us just stop there for a minute. If we have a car and the wheels are out of alignment and you go down the highway at 120, it's not a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
Because that whole body is vibrating.
So when you've lost that, you're in trouble. So besides the accidents, but that counts for a lot of causes for losing the alignment. So that's what happens. That you find if you're looking at our lifestyle, our work is sedentary.
Yeah.
You know, we sit. Sometimes even when I'm analyzing clients and I'm seeing them for the whole day, and I sometimes even think, phew. Because it's very little activity to get up, go to the loo, or get some water. But mostly I'm sitting. So it's not healthy to take the whole day sitting like that. But that is our lifestyle. You find our lifestyle, you get from the house, get into the car, and you're driving. And now you can imagine when you do that for years.
Absolutely, day in,
so
day out.
So it will affect your posture.
Tell me, how do we counteract that? Do little exercises in between, or get up, stretch, walk around? Because we cannot come and see somebody every time we fall or bump ourselves, or we have, like you said now, a lady earlier on, she didn't realize that she'd just been bumped by the car, but it wasn't severe enough to see somebody. So how do we look after ourselves as far as that's concerned? Besides, obviously, the clients where there is clearly now a visible unbalance in the body.
This is the thing.
How do we...
This is the thing, Carol, that you'll find that there is no provision
Yeah.
in conventional to pick that up at an early age. People are just wondering, why is there so much sugar? Why is there so much blood pressure? Why is so much strokes? Why? All that is linked to
what you're saying
amongst
now.
other things
Wow.
to this. So until you can, I mean, at Health Haven, these centers, but we'll come back to that. These centers, that's exactly one of the things that we are going to offer. Let me take an example, for instance, that if we look at someone who says, I've got serious digestive problems, and how does that link to this?
Can we just give us a little elaborate there? They got digestive problems. What would you be talking about?
They have got belching, they've got gas,
Heartburn?
they've got heartburn, they're constipating, or they've got diarrhea, they've got irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay.
Everything that is related to gastric issues.
Okay, alrighty.
Okay. Now, and they don't know why. I mean, remember, there are even doctors that are specializing in gastric related problems. And it's in and out, in and out. People just cannot fix it. And but can I just tell you that it actually links squarely, besides other things, to the alignment problem. And how? You see, like I said when I was talking about the autonomic dysreflexia, where the sympathetic and the parasympathetic are out of communication. Okay. Now remember, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, those nervous systems have got, it's like fraternal twins.
Okay.
Where this one has got its function and this one, but they must communicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, the sympathetic nervous system is the one that if you are upset or you're scared, that's the one that makes you fight, that makes you run, that makes the fight or flight kind of nervous system. So that is what it's keeping in check. It's watching you. But now this is the parasympathetic one, is the one that controls how you eat, that this is the eating one, this is the sleeping, this is the healing. That's the nice one.
Okay.
That's just making you happy. This one is saying,
the other one's a defensive one.
is the problem. Let's prepare to run.
Okay.
This one is saying, no, don't worry, man, I'm still eating.
Okay.
You know? So that's what is happening with those systems.
Okay.
But now the body has got to be always, for the body to be okay and healthy and all that, it's got to be on the parasympathetic nervous system mode, where everything is just
relaxed and calm.
Okay. Everything is going well, you're sleeping well, you're eating, you are healed, you this and that.
Okay.
But now the sympathetic, this is what happens with the sympathetic nervous system. Because it is a system that's keeping in check if there's trouble. Now what happens and how the digestive system come into play in that situation? If, for instance, you are you are attacked or there's something that's frightening you, like I described with the autonomic dysreflux, that the heart is pouncing and
sweaty palms,
sweating palms and pressure and all that. Now, all those, but then this is what happens. Now, the stomach, when you are under attack or when you are under threat, it shuts down. That is how it's created. Because it's shutting down and it takes all that food into the muscles, because you must get ready
to run. Makes sense.
To run.
Okay.
But everything else shuts down. There's no time to keep on digesting and say, no, I'm not finished, I was still digesting. You say, hey, we've got no time for that. Take everything
and run.
Push it to the muscles.
We needed to run.
And fight or run.
Okay.
That's what happens. So the stomach will always shut down when there is a threat. Okay. Now you can imagine now. So when you're on sympathetic, the stomach is not working.
Wow.
It's just taking the stuff that's there to the muscles. So otherwise on its own, it's not digesting. There's no time for doing that way. So now you can imagine if you were to sit on sympathetic nervous system all the time.
Wow. Tell me, this was going through my mind. I'm already preempting, thinking now, if somebody is stressed and anxious and sweaty palms and palpitations and feeling almost paranoia, and normally those are the people that say, I'm suffering with constipation, I'm either got diarrhea or I'm constipated. And all these memories.
People with colon cancer.
Absolutely.
People with...
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me, as you're speaking, and the season 1 and season 2, and all those memories are still in my mind of ailments and conditions and people, and as you're talking now, it's like it is an absolute revelation. Just putting all those together, and now we have this new improved method. It is going to be life-changing for so many people. I can just see people with their anxiety problems and the non-sleeping and the digestion, everything you're discussing here. This is revolutionary. This is unbelievably amazing. Just thinking how we can actually improve on what you already had created, and now just taking it to another level where all these conditions, as you're speaking about, is just triggering people, clients, emotions that have been suffering with this, and
yet
unbelievable.
It's coming.
Absolutely. Timmy, this is amazing. Where we're thinking, okay, it's the sphenoid bone, but now as you're speaking and it's just going down, I mean, it's no different to your previous diagnoses with your scans that you do. This is just in another league, but to work in conjunction, it is just phenomenal. It is just phenomenal. But the people I think that you're going to touch that are listening to us right now with the anxieties, I've heard this a million times in my life. People
saying
sleep. They can't sleep, and they get these palpitations and the sweaty palms, and they're anxious all the time. Now you're telling me about the digestion and the stomach shutting down when there's a crisis, and these people that are suffering with this are experiencing this every day, sometimes more than once or twice or 3 times a day. So it is so detrimental to the whole system. This is absolutely mind-blowing. So the stomach again.
The stomach again.
And conventional diagnosing this?
Well, conventional...
Putting it down to the sphenoid bone, starting from there and working its way down?
Well, this is the thing, that I get people where you find they say, I'm due for an operation, because they want to, particularly those that have completely lost
Tell me, does it continue deteriorating? I mean, I know if you say it's out of alignment, and the pictures that the viewers will see of the x-rays where we see it's out of alignment, if this is unattended, would this get progressively worse?
Oh, yes. That's why you find people with scoliosis.
Okay.
That you find they end up having a real... And when I look at the bone, and you'll find some people are not even aware, because I see a lot of people with scoliosis, and I would ask, when you're sitting, do you have to sit in a certain position to feel comfortable? You're going to just sit. They say, because the shoulder is slightly high. Sometimes it's not showing. It's just maybe showing. You find the person is looking at you, but it's like the neck is tilting a little bit to the side. Yeah. But people are not even aware of that. Even people that are looking at you don't actually even because most people are sitting with a small out of alignment problem.
Yeah.
But the majority, it's few people that have completely, where you find even the hip is protruding, it's coming out but that's what happens. Okay.
And I heard you mention surgery.
Of course, conventional perform surgery to try and
rectify this.
No, it's not rectifying it.
It's just symptom.
They're just, what they're doing is that they're just beating that back to position. Okay.
Where it should be.
Yeah, to say, hey, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be there. And what they must do is the surgeon is just to either they cut. Sometimes you find that they cut, or they. But Carol, remember what had caused that to be out of alignment.
Yep, it's still there.
Still there.
Wow. So they go through all the painful operation. I know of 2 people that have had they just said their shoulder blade trimmed because it was protruding. And I know a mother and daughter that have had this operation, and the mother had it many years ago, and sadly to say, she's got to have it done again because it has just continued growing. And the daughter's main concern, because she also has the same problem, that hers is going to regrow, and she is absolutely beside herself at the moment, worrying about the situation. And you're saying it will grow again?
It will. I mean, for as long as the scar, the sphenoid is having issues, you're gonna keep on. You're gonna keep on moving away because the body is trying to compensate so that you don't fall over.
And tell me, this is besides all the other problems it's causing.
Yeah.
This is just one problem.
Just one problem.
Wow, this is mind blowing.
Because, like I'm talking about, how many people are sitting with digestive problems? A lot of people.
Tell me,
besides diet,
frightening.
Of course, remember when I started with the show and I said there are many things. What actually makes people to be healthy, completely healthy? They must be able to produce new cells.
Yes.
Yeah. But then what causes problems of us struggling to produce? There are so many things.
Yeah.
So this is just one of them.
Wow. Timmy, I think this is just I can't say it enough. It's just amazing. Just in one episode of our season 3 already, I have been sitting here helping you present this. And already my mind is thinking about cases and people and situations, and it's almost too much to comprehend in one sitting. I'm completely speechless. Just to think of the conditions that people, and especially the anxiety, because so many people are on these high scheduled drugs for anxiety.
And in some cases, most cases, all you need to do is just to fix that.
Realigned, absolutely. Which is now going to be taking place, absolutely, at our Oxygen and Voltage Center. Thembi, this is absolutely amazing. I would love to know what Conventional would actually have to say about this, and because they're doing surgery, and now you're going to be fixing them. We've seen how the difference is within one treatment, one session. But I could just imagine after 6 sessions, it's going to be correcting everything and just strengthening the system as it is.
Even with one session, Carol, you'll find that, because remember, when you lose this alignment, the spine is affected, the cranial, the whole central nervous system is affected.
Yeah.
And the spine sits with a lot of nerves. Cranial area sits with a lot of nerves. Then you find people that are in pain, people with fibromyalgia, people that are just in pain. It doesn't matter if there's anything that has triggered the pain, they're just in pain. And others have got pain in certain areas. That is as a result of this losing its alignment. Yeah. Okay. So you find you give a person one session and that pain immediately is like, no.
Don't go away. We'll be back right after the break.
What is energy medicine? Ever wondered or heard of it? Health Haven is doing it again. We bring you another alternative health modality that will turn your health around by correcting your electric circuit. What are we talking about? Watch Dr. Alternative Show and be blown away. Health Haven Clinic is in a league of its own. It is a clinic that does what doctors can't do. Anything that carries Health Haven signature, then you know it is a good program.
Welcome back. Well, Thembi, you're saying we can look at the screen where the X-ray was to see how it's out of alignment, to think of all the nerves, especially coming from the spinal bone down into the central nervous system, down the spine. I can actually understand it if it can be corrected.
Everything falls back.
Precisely, because nerves are thin, minuscule little pieces in our spine of delicate little fibers and cells, and if you realign them, taking all the pressure.
Because when it's like this, you can imagine the pressure that it's doing, and the body will always try to readjust itself so that, because remember, gravity is pulling you down. So it has to try and compensate for that skull so that you don't fall over.
Correct.
Therefore, it must hold you from that side. When it's doing that, everything is just messed
But
up.
Timmy, I can just think already, like when we're seeing how the body is almost tilting to the side, and once it's realigned, all those organs must go, phew, thank goodness.
Yeah.
All the unnecessary
calm.
pressure, absolutely. Now tell me, with doing this voltage therapy, how effective is the treatment in keeping it like that? Because obviously it will be in conjunction with your other scans and medications to correct the other organs that have been damaged. So you could use this really, really successfully with the voltage therapy.
Yeah.
But would this maintain this indefinitely?
Of course, this is the thing, that once we we take the body out of sympathetic nervous system and we let it stay on parasympathetic, then everything kicks in that maintains health. So that's what this treatment does. It takes you out of, because this sympathetic is the unhealthy one.
Defensive.
It's the one that's messing you up, because you always...
That's the short-tempered one.
Yeah, it's the short-tempered one, and it's messing up everything because the focus is on the danger that is not even there.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
That is not even there.
Thembi, just by what you said there now, the danger. I know and have seen so many clients, people, patients, friends over the years that are paranoid about, they'll just see something and they are petrified. And you just sort of say, oh, calm down, it's fine.
And they don't know why. They don't know why.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
telling
As you're talking, you're just hitting so many nerves, and the viewers, I think, are going to be sitting there with big eyes thinking, this must be happening, because they're fearful of everything without never having been in that situation of being attacked or in an accident or being cut themselves or falling off a ladder, but yet they are so fearful. Never been or never have experienced that. And now what you're saying, I can just imagine people just relating to what you're saying. This is phenomenal. I can't stop saying this. This is life changing to so many people. And just to digress slightly, I know somebody once that actually, when they had died, they couldn't believe it because they had done an autopsy, that the heart was 5 times the size that it should be. And they put it down to too much adrenaline. Now, could this be the case in people where I know you said early on, could affect the heart as well, being in the sympathetic mode all the time?
Yeah.
Would that do damage?
Not only that, Carol, you see people that have got that, which is called cardiomegaly. I see people most of the time. And I'll ask, have you been to a heart scan? Because that's the thing. You see, the thing with people with cardiomegaly, which is the heart enlargement.
Correct.
In most cases, they don't experience the fast heartbeat or the sharp pain, or in most cases, those people tend to be tired.
But lethargic.
Yeah. And sometimes not excessively tired, unless it has reached really big proportions. Yeah. But you find others tend to be sleepy. They tend to be quite sleepy. If they're not during the day, they sleep at night, but during the day, they're falling asleep. They're driving, they pull the car aside just to stretch, because they're always feeling sleepy. Okay, they're eating, immediately they finish eating, instead of energy, So people with cardiomegaly are not having telltale signs that make them panic, because of the way it presents itself. That heart is struggling. That's what enlarges it. But now, people with aneurysm. I see quite a few people with thoracic aortic aneurysm, where you find the blood vessels have bulged out and they have lost the elasticity, so they're sagging. The bottom one is sagging. The gravity keeps pulling it, and as it sags, it's sitting with a lot of blood that keeps, and the circulation doesn't stop because you've got this sagging.
So like pockets.
It's not pocket. Well, you could say, but then remember, it's the pocket of the whole vein. Of the whole artery. It's not like it's a small cone. It's covering, because remember that whole artery is servicing that area. And then you find you might have aneurysm that starts a little bit smaller, but then it keeps sagging and it keeps sagging. Then you find people say, I will feel as though the bra. Some people say, I don't even wear bra.
Oh, wow.
Because they feel tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes others feel itchy, and others feel having shortness of breath, and they think maybe they are unfit. You know, that's what happens. Now, when when you're having that aneurysm, that heart is working phenomenally hard.
Too hard.
Too hard, because remember, it's pumping in those arteries. Now those arteries must pump forward. Now when they've got all that bulging section, there's a lot of blood that's sitting there. So the heart is aware, hey, volumes. So it keeps pushing harder because it can't allow blood to flow back. So it keeps pushing harder. And the harder it works, the harder these muscles get stretched out. And then you find that it starts enlarging because it's every time. So there are many things, even besides the spinal. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people, but others you find there are people. I remember attended the conference, that breathing conference.
Yes.
And one of the presenting doctors, they said, you can have cancer everywhere, but you can't. The only organ that cannot have cancer is the heart. And I was like, of course, I mean, I didn't say anything, but I was like, because how does the heart get cancer? Which is the other thing that will cause it to enlarge? There are, like the myocardium, the muscle that pumps the outside of the heart, the muscle that pumps that actually controls the relaxation and the contraction of the heart. That's the myocardium. I've seen a lot of people with liposarcoma, which is fat tissue cancer. You find this, the tissue is so enlarged, they actually have hyperplasia in the myocardium.
Oh my word.
Liposarcoma is cancer.
Yes.
It's just that it's a fat tissue cancer.
Yeah.
And I found it in the heart. So I was like thinking, unless maybe she specifies what kind. Because as far as I know, you get different types of tissue cancers, particularly liposarcoma, in the myocardium.
To me, this is just to think again that this phenomenal treatment takes a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem possible. Yeah. But yet the successes have been
phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Almost miraculous. To think that a couple of minutes can change somebody's life. To me, I would just love to see people that are suffering from the anxieties, because they carry such stigmas and such labels of being burdened to families and people and husbands and friends and family, that they come down and experience this therapy to be life-changing. And our accident victims, I mean, with brain damage, and there's so much waiting out there for people, especially when I look at the psychological conditions of society and people, besides the injuries, besides the organs that Health Haven has been treating since the day we opened our doors. It just keeps intensifying. It just keeps getting better so much.
One more thing before we close, I just want to explain this, that we're getting a lot of people booking already.
Yes.
Quite a lot of people booking. We were supposed to start with the treatments on Friday, the 11th, actually. But there are still refinements, like we've got everything, the equipment, the devices and everything.
Okay. But
we just have smaller things, like you find they've not delivered this particular furniture. So those are the small things that have delayed us. But the bookings, we have started taking bookings. We have started giving people the dates, so we're not starting the week of the 13th, we're starting the week of the 20th.
Okay.
So definitely. So we've already given people some dates. So we just apologize that we've had to delay a bit, but we're very thorough.
Absolutely. Thembi, this is amazing. We thank you for another information-filled episode and wish you many blessings this week.